Hello, ladies and germs. I I was fiddling around with settings on my on my phone, and you would think because I work at a TV station and I've worked at one for 10 years now that I would know the difference between HD and 4K. But I had to ask ALEXA what the difference was because it came up as an option on my on my phone. So anyway, so this is in 4K, and I'm hoping that all my other stuff that I've been filming has been in 4K. But then there's a number above it that says you can toggle between 24, 30, and 60, and I have absolutely no idea what that means. I don't really care so much. I tried, it was the exposure, because I have a light here, so it's light here, but then it's darker there. Should I move over? I don't know. This is just how these vlogs go. It's like, how much do I prep or not prep for them? I was trying to get my pretty beach picture in there, but here we are. So I'll just go here. All right, today is a milestone day. So for the first time in a long time, I'm not vlogging from my car or parking lot or coming out of a doctor's appointment. I may or may not tomorrow, because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Tomorrow I am going to plastics to have my nipples tattooed on. Out of context, that sounds very bizarre. I guess in context, it's kind of still bizarre. And that's why I wanted to do a vlog at like a reasonable time of day. It's like almost 8 o'clock, and my cuckoo clock used to always go off when I started my vlogs, which is, gosh, over 3.5 years ago now. The volume's off right now, so it won't go off. Man, there's been so much that has happened in this whole journey. It's not even like I don't think I'm gonna cry, because I don't know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow. So, in case you're just joining in, I'm not going through my whole story. You can rewind and watch other vlogs for that. But when I found out about my cancer, it was pretty much all over my right boob. So I had to, like, it really wasn't a choice of having a lumpectomy, because there's just way too many lumps to ectomy. So it had to be removed. I opted into removing my left as well. Though they did find some suspicious spots, and I'm glad that I did have it removed, because the biopsies, they did came back benign, and when all was said and done, how funny that I don't even like know this. I had either lobular carcinoma in situ or invasive lobular carcinoma, and it's awful that I don't even know. But whatever, the point was, like, when I knew the right had to go, and I asked them what the odds are that I would get it in my left side if I just removed my right side. And I think they said like 3% or something. And I'm like, I am usually that 3%. So I'm gonna have it removed, and I'm glad that I did, because there were cancer cells in my left boob too. So fast forward, I had a double mastectomy, in oncology lingo. I had a skin sparing double mastectomy. I always find that term interesting, because skin sparing, what would they not spare your skin? Like, I don't know. It just, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, nor my therapist. Whatever you pull from this, that's great. This is just my experience. And it is devastating when you find out that you need to have your boobs removed. Now, at the time, I was a clueless deer in headlights, and I remember when I told my kids that I would need to have them both removed, and I phrased it like, look, Mom gets to have fake boobs. I get to get implants for my 50th birthday. Woohoo! I was 49, but whatever. And that's what I thought, like, woohoo. You know, you see these models with these implants and, like, you know. Implants aren't the same thing. Well, I shouldn't say that. Implants, because there's nothing there, is not the same thing as implants when you have breast tissue. Breast augmentation is not the same as breast reconstruction. That is a very big assumption that people make, that like, oh, you get fake boobs. Ooh, ah. I mean, yes, you have fake boobs, but there is no, and this is one of those, like, you won't get it unless you see it or experience it. You won't get it unless you experience it. You can see the differences when you look at someone who's had breast augmentation and has their own breast tissue still versus someone who's had a mastectomy, aside from scars, I mean, because I don't have any breast tissue. So with my surgery, it is literally like, I'm going to be relatively graphic here, but they make these cuts, they open you up, they scoop you out like a melon baller, and then in comes the plastic surgeon, and he takes the implants, ties them up in a, this is like your 15-second, what it's like to have a mastectomy. It's not funny. Anyhow, they take the implant, they wrap it up in alloderm, which is made of cadaver skin, fun fact, no DNA involved, and then they sew that to your pectoral muscles, and then they sew you up and go on your merry way. Having said that, there's a billion different combinations of ways that they can do that. Mine are above my pectoral muscles. Some people do below the pectoral muscles, and I don't, I'm not going to go into all of that stuff. Again, you can rewind or Google or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, when you have it done, I think you have this picture in your head, and maybe it's just like what they imply when you first find out about this, because obviously the main goal is to still be here. And I am very, 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 very infinitely grateful to be here. I'm grateful that my cancer is gone. I am grateful that my treatments are over now. I am grateful I don't have any more shots. I'm grateful I don't need any more infusions. I'll be grateful in a couple of years when I'm, or not a couple, several years when I'm off the tamoxifen and all the other shit. To think of what I finished, not what I still have left to go. But I feel like when they told me about the mastectomy, I just thought, well, that just comes with the territory. And when I leave, I'll have boobs like Pam Anderson or whoever. You know, the kind that you see on TV that are all like pushed up and like really big and all voluptuous and waka waka, you know? And then they told me that because of where my tumors were, it really wasn't even a choice. I mean, everything's a choice, but one of my tumors was extremely close to my nipple and to the top layer of my skin. And she said that my breast surgeon had said that if they cut so that they take the nipple, you know, do their thing and put the nipple back on, like if basically if you miss a cell in your scoopage and put it back on, it's like putting cancer back on your skin after you just like cord it out. Would I want that to happen? No. So that equates to we can't save your nipples. Oh, like that's a thing? I didn't know that was a thing. I thought maybe I should zoom it down for this one just to get the foobs in there. I should move this back a little bit. Bear with me. I thought, well, here they are. I mean, they're not going to change. I'm not, I thought I was going to have another surgery, but I'm my plastic surgeon does not want to do another surgery, either not. Like right now, they actually look pretty big. They do look quite large right now, but it's not the head-on that I have the problem with. Like head-on, I feel like they look like they're curved very well here. They're curved very well here. I get why my plastic surgeon is so proud of his work. They are now symmetric, although my right is shifted over just a hair. I am still toying with the idea of getting a tattoo. Like I have this tattoo that I got because I was not going to have, when they told me about nipple tattooing, I'm like, I'm not going to have my nipples be the first thing that I have tattooed. A, out of principle, and B, if someone says, oh, you know, what's the first tattoo you ever got? My nipple. What? Like, no. So I got this instead. Not instead, but I got this first, although I can't, here. I got this first. Where am I? There I am. If you go on Instagram and you look at Kells Tats, KELLZ TATTZ, he has a little short video that he put together of making the final product of my tattoo. It's really, it's cool. Anyhow, yeah, I didn't want my nipple tattoos to be my first tattoos. So when my breast surgeon told me that they were not going to be able to save my nipples, like I just like stare like what? Like not understanding, because like, you know, they don't give you a manual about how all this cancer shit, surgery shit, whatever it works. I just didn't understand, and I'm like, and I asked her even flat out when I said to her, like, you know, I don't even get how a mastectomy works. Like, I understand, like, you know, your boobs are chopped off, but like, what does it actually mean? Like, what are you doing? I don't need the play-by-play, but like, I didn't understand like how you go from that to that. Like, what exactly are you doing? And I'm not going to go into all the logistics of it now. It's a whole separate vlog that I probably talked about at some point. But anyway, so I thought, you know, it's curved well here. I did have so where are we now? We're just around Valentine's Day of 2025. I had my double mastectomy in August of 2021. And then in January of 2023, I had a reconstruction revision because my left one started shifting over. The alloderm, again, which is like it's skin that they use to as a pocket, sort of, to like or a sling to keep the implant in place, and for some reason it was just like shifting over. So I went in for a reconstruction revision and in January of 2023, and it was only like an hour and a half, I think, or something, or maybe an hour. It was relatively short. My double mastectomy was a 6.5 hour surgery. So he just like went over, went up, like pulled it over, whatever it was, 2 centimeters, pulled it up 2 centimeters, and now they're like symmetric. I can wear V-necks and stuff and not have it pull. And a lot of my older videos before I had the revision, you can see how like my shirts like would shift over because it was migrating. And then while they did, or at the same procedure, when he did the revision, I don't know if he brought it up or I brought it up, whatever, but he did lipo on both sides here. Weirdly, when I look back at pictures now because I've taken pictures throughout this whole process of what stuff looks like when you go to plastics, like it kind of sucks that blue wall that you stand up against like it's your freaking like mugshot or something. And they take like your before picture, and I guess my Barbie boobs would be my during picture, and then when my tattoos are done, I'll have my after picture. But when they sorry, my head is all over the place. It's funny because I'm a very smart person. Like I was tutoring today and I'm like, it's pretty cool that I can go from tutoring like a fourth grader up to tutoring a kid getting ready for SATs within like a 2-hour frame of time and like really kick ass doing both. And then I go to do these things and I'm like, what the hell was I just saying? Like that never happens when like I'm working. Anyway, it used to in the beginning when I was first sick and I didn't know it did, but that hasn't happened in a very long time. The pictures. I don't know. I don't know if it was him. I don't remember how the whole lipo thing even came up. I don't know. But, what I was noticing. So I thought that after the lipo was done, that I would see a distinct difference. And maybe right afterwards I did. But in my series of unfortunate events that have happened the past few years, my apartment flooded a week after my surgery. So I was a little distracted because I lost all my stuff and I not lost, but like, it got destroyed, most everything. And I had to move. So where I am now, like you can see my backdrop is not what it was before. I look like I'm on a therapy couch right now. But my couch used to be green and now it's blue. So not the same place. And yeah, I had the surgery done, went back for my week follow-up to see how things were going. Everything was going great. And like literally, 2 days later, my apartment flooded. So anywho, it's absurd. You have to laugh. But so I don't know if it's because of the lipo. I don't know if it was because obviously I was moving things that I shouldn't have, but like, it was mayhem at the time. And I stayed with a friend of mine for a week after I had to leave my apartment. And then I stayed in a hotel for, 6 weeks or something? I don't even remember. Long enough. Ugh. So my healing was a lot more complicated because I was, moving and not in my normal space. And why am I talking about all this stuff? I don't know. But I guess the lipo you think sounds like it's something like that the rich and famous do. And yes, they do. But I had like wicked bruising and like not even like black and blue bruising, like my skin turned like black and it was like hard. I look back at pictures and I'm like, oh my God, how much did it really actually do for me? Honestly, not a whole shit ton of a lot. Your body takes time to just like settle, like what you get after your mastectomy is not what it looks like down the road. For me, it's been it's been 2 years since the reconstruction revision. Right after the revision, my left side was higher just because it settles over time. So one thing I do just want to throw out there, because if you're at the place where like you either haven't had your surgery yet or you just had it and you're like, is this what they're going to look like forever? The answer is like, no. My boobs have changed quite a bit, just from like the natural process of healing, gravity, your skin and your body just getting used to what's there. So like when I was done with my original surgery, they're like, oh, you could put a level on your boobs at that time. Yes. And then my body was like, no, this one's going over here. And then they had to fix that. So obviously it took another surgery to get them level again. Yeah. So I went for a follow-up, just a routine follow-up with plastics. I thought I was going to have one more surgery done before, like I was done, just to like, clean up a couple of things, make my sides, like, I know it looks curved here, but I still, like, if I'm going to go in for plastic surgery, like, let's clean it all up, or not that it's messy, I don't know. Anyway, but like, I put on so much weight from like the meds and treatment and all that shit. I gained 35 pounds. Yeah, I gained 35 pounds. I lost 10 like a year ago when I was like busting my ass at the gym, and I put on like 4 back. So like I am working out more than I think I have in, I don't know, since like my 30s. Or no, probably 20s, because I worked out this hard when I was trying to get my body in shape to get pregnant, and my son is 23 now. The point is I'm busting my ass cardio, with weights, with food, with all the right things, and the weight's just not budging. And the tamoxifen, from my understanding, like they slow your metabolism down, they cause weight gain. The gabapentin, but like if I didn't take it, the gabapentin, like I'd be burning up. Like right now, my hot flashes would be out of control. I only take 100 milligrams of gabapentin, one in the morning and one at night, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot. People take like thousands of milligrams of gabapentin. And I'm glad that I can, wear a shirt like this and not just wear black shirts all the time because I'm sweating so bad. Like it's not like that anymore, which is great. But the gabapentin also like makes my belly like, well, I'm not showing you what it looks like. But anyway, what I look like now is not what I looked like before all this shit happened. Anyway, so I thought that like any extra flab I have over here that he could just like, go in there. And I wasn't really a fan of doing lipo again. I'm like, can you just like shift it all like somewhere, like bring it towards the middle, like I don't know, like do what you do. I don't know. But he didn't want to go in there for third surgery. I'm glad he's conservative, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed. He said if he were, again, I'm not a super big at the lipo thing, a super big fan of the lipo thing, because for me at least, it was not I feel like you'd have to keep going in to have lipo done. And I don't want to do that. Like my body's been through enough. And he said if he went in there like to cut something and shift stuff around or whatever, my scars go straight across. Again, another misnomer I had was that like my scars would be under, because that's how like, people have their scars when they have breast implants done, but I couldn't have my scars go under, and that's another vlog that I'm not going to get into, but my scars are straight across. Well, plus I couldn't keep my nipples either. So like you'd have to have a scar where your nipple obviously would be. But he said like if he were to cut into here, my scar would end up going like under my armpit. And to just in life have a scar under your armpit, imagine like you're just walking and every time you walk you're like, you're rubbing up against your scar. One weird thing just as I noticed as I was doing that, do you see that? Like how because I don't have a nipple, it doesn't fill out. Like this, me folding right here, that's my bra, that's not even my boob. Because I don't have that bump from a nipple anymore. Most of the clothes that I had to buy better bras again, but look, you can like press it in, because bras are, at least the bras I have right now, which maybe I need to get some new bras. That's kind of annoying, but my other side really isn't like that. Or I guess it is like that a little bit. Another not so fun fact about implants, they don't move. I mean, I guess that's good in some ways, but they don't move. So like I lift my, you put before when I had like real boobs, you put a bra on and you can like just lift it up and put everything where you want it to be. And there it is. You want to lift them up? Sure, lift them up and bring them in wherever you want to put them. That's not a thing with these. Like they are freaking like glued to me. They're literally stitched into my pectoral muscles and my skin. They're not moving anywhere. I tried once buying an underwear or trying on an underwear bra like I used to, and I'm like, oh, I'll just shift it in. There's no shifting, at least not for me. They are where they are. Like I can try to take this and like move it over, but like there's nothing wrong with it. There's no like capsular contracture is a concern, where it gets like hard and you definitely have to go in for surgery if that's the case. I don't have that, but like they don't really move. My old boobs, I'd be like, woo, 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 I can do that with them, but like, they're not really going anywhere. Maybe I don't fiddle around with them enough to break up more scar tissue. My left is more pliable than my right is. My left side, they took 2 lymph nodes maybe, but if that, my right side, they took out 6. And obviously they did more work here because the tumors were here. So there's more like, mumbo jumbo going on. And they took a 7th piece of tissue out, which I don't even know why. It wasn't a lymph node. It was just a piece of tissue they took out. Everything came back fine. I didn't have any cancer in any of my lymph nodes or anything. So that was great. But because they took out so many, lymph nodes from this side and the actual surgery and stuff. There's just a lot more, there's a lot more scar tissue and stuff. Like this morning, I was doing yoga this morning. I'm trying to get back into yoga just to get stretchy and flexible again. And I was laying on my back and they said to go into cactus pose. So you're laying on your back and your arms are like this. So clearly I could do it if I'm sitting. When I'm laying down and I did this, my left arm was on the floor, but I couldn't get my right arm onto the floor. And it was like the opening and the stretching. As much as I've been working my ass off at the gym, like I obviously am not stretched enough to be able to do that, which was interesting. So it's just, I don't know, like if you're going through all this stuff and you're earlier in the process than where I am now, just be kind with yourself. In hindsight, I know, and I really still am not as kind with myself as I should be. And a lot of that is just not knowing. Like you have this, like the doctors tell you stuff because like they're not going to tell you all the horrible things that could happen because they might not happen. But when shit happens, then like what do you have as a reference? You know, if you're in a support group or something, that's fine. My support group, I'm the only person who's had a double mastectomy. Everyone else has had lumpectomies. So like they talk about like chemo and radiation. I didn't have chemo or radiation. I don't think any of them had, some of them were on Lupron. Most, or if anybody else did Zimeta infusions. Everyone's story is so different. Like you think breast cancer is so common. So like, you know, everyone, you just know like what to expect and what words to use and stuff. And like everyone's journey is so different. And I don't mean that in a cliche way. I mean, like literally there's so many different combinations of things that you can have, different kinds of breast cancer, you know, different treatments that you would need. Like I just equate cancer with radiation and chemo. I didn't know that like injections were part of the story. I didn't know that like these Zimeta infusions were part of it too, because they're not, I mean, they're chemical therapy. I don't think they're considered a chemotherapy. Are they? I have no idea. It's not, well, I guess it is systemic. I have no idea. Whatever. But the point is like it's so different for everyone. And I just, you know, part of why I do this is because when I was diagnosed, I was looking for answers. I was looking for people that I could follow along to see, you know, where they were on their journeys and stuff. And I just came across a lot of women with a lot of really good hair and a lot of really good makeup looking like, you know, not what I looked like when I'm in my pajamas with my drains and like crying with my hair in a ponytail and like I can't open a jar of pickles, even though I don't like pickles, but you know what I mean, but the jars, because you can't do this after surgery. And I just wanted to be relatable because I mean there are great moments. You can look at my Runway for Recovery stuff. There are great empowering moments, and then there are moments where you're just like, what the fuck? No one told me this. And I don't know, that's hopefully the gift I'm giving by doing these. I don't know. So yes, they did the double mastectomy. They put the implants in. My implants were about, because it says in the surgery notes how many cc's of breast tissue they took out. So the implants they put in were just about what they took out, which I find interesting because when I went to Amanda Thomas Boutique in New Hampshire to get fitted for like post-mastectomy bras, which they just look like regular bras. Although you can stick a chicken cutlet if I wanted to really have bigger boobs. It has a pocket. I could stick a chicken cutlet in it if I want to have bigger boobs. I don't mean a literal chicken cutlet. I mean the latexy or whatever they're made out of, silicone. Sorry, I'm starting to hot flash too. What was I saying? I don't even know. I don't know what I was saying. I don't know. I got the bras a while ago. I need to get new bras, but I was putting off getting the tattooing done when I was saying that like when my breast surgeon told me about me not being able to keep my nipples, I mean, obviously I'm like, again, deer in headlights, like what the fuck. I did do a very powerful, I thought it was a very powerful vlog for me. I watched it over and over and over again. When I found out that I couldn't keep them, I was at MGH sitting outside. I remember I had my highlights, my hair was shorter, and I was like tearing up, and just, it was like a nipple grieving or something is what I called it. But my breast surgeon pulled up pictures of, she knew a woman. There's like some guy that's like the best nipple tattoo artist in like America. And she's like, but this woman is the best person in Canada, and she's actually better than the best person in the US. So this woman from Canada comes down every, like, I don't know, 4 times a year or something, to like certain major cities. Boston is one of them, and does nipple tattooing, and she knows her. So she's like, you know, she can, let me show you some of her work. So she showed me some, but I'm like, I don't want to see this shit right now. It was too soon. And when I saw these women that started out with no nipples at all, I'm just staring at the pictures like, what? Like, it's just, they look like aliens to me. Like, who looks at a woman's boobs and like all you see is just the boob and no nipple or areola? It looks weird. I could say that because I don't have a nipple or areola anymore. It looks weird. It looks fucked up. It looks weird. And I'm not even looking at their scars. Most of them had scars like underneath, so you couldn't tell. Or they have like a scar from the side. I shouldn't say most. They have a scar from the, because the scars underneath, but then they come up this way to get the nipples out. Or sometimes they come from the side and there's only like a scar here and then under, and then that's it. It depends where your nipple is in relation to the rest of your boob as to what your scar is going to look like, and the tumors and all that stuff. But I just remember looking at the pictures that I'm like, that's so fucking weird. I'm like, I don't want to look like an alien. And she's like, no, 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 you can get your breast tattooed. And she's explaining to me about the texturizing and the 3D tattoos and all these things. And she's showing me pictures. And when she showed the pictures, I mean, obviously it's not her first walk in the park with all this shit, but she's showing me the pictures thinking it'll make me feel better by seeing what they look like after. And I'm like, I don't want that after. Like, I want my own nipples. Though I don't want them there if they're going to kill me. So I get why they have to go. But I'm like, how fucked up is it that you have no nipples? I'm very grateful that this all happened after I had already had children. Both my kids now are, like they're old, they're old enough. It's not like I'm nursing anyone. It was the point I was trying to make. I did nurse, tried to nurse my older son. Was not happening. They told me something was wrong with my boobs. The irony. I had the same boobs for my second son, and he nursed just fine. It turned out that it was like a palate issue. Wasn't anything wrong with my boob. There wasn't anything wrong with anything. It's just like sometimes, you know, things work and sometimes they don't. Anyway, don't let the leche league like get under your skin. Anyhow, so yeah, the pictures they showed me, I found more frightening, and the more she was explaining about the things, like I'm just like, I get how it's interesting, but I don't want that. Can we just make all this go away and just give me my old boobs back? But that's just not a thing. You know, you can't, it doesn't work that way. And I'm not gonna, like, health was always #1 priority. I was not gonna like make decisions based on what things would look like when all was said and done. I just wanted the cancer to be gone and make sure that I'm doing all the things to keep the cancer away. Because of those two priorities, I was not able to keep my nipples, and I gained 35 pounds. Anywho, so I asked her like how long after I have the surgery does it take before you get the tattooing? And she's like, you could do it whenever you want. So long story short, I just wasn't ready to have them done. Every time I went to, not every time, but they didn't, originally they said they didn't want to do the tattooing until after like my surgeries were done. When I had the second one, I'm like, let's just, the reconstruction revision, I'm like, let's, see how things go with these. And then if they look fine, I'll get them done. But then I started having more nerve pain in my right boob. And I'm like, well, if I'm gonna need another surgery, like I'm not having the tattooing done, obviously. And I don't want to repeat a vlog because I feel like it's the last one that I did where plastic said they weren't going to do another surgery. And that like, I've been having like these body image issues for about a year, I guess now. You'd think I would have had them like the whole time, but I mean the whole time of this process, but I did not. Weirdly, as my treatments were ending and like everyone's like, go back to life, and you're like, wait, what? So how do you just go back to life? Like I'm not the same person that I was, and I don't even know who the fuck I am anymore. I truly don't. I don't know what my goals are. I don't know what I want to focus my time and energy with. I am one big question mark right now. Like, no idea. No idea. Anyway, so he said, same thing of why, he said he thought I would feel better about my body at this point if I just went ahead and had the tattooing done. And I said to him, well, if I have the tattooing done, then I can't go in and have another surgery if I need one. And he's like, that's not true. And his nurse said the same thing too. So like, just because one person says something doesn't mean like it's actually true. You gotta like go with multiple feedback, because one person will say something, somebody will say something else. It's not like, well, whatever. I mean, it's your own doctors that you have to have this discussion with, but I'm getting the tattooing done tomorrow. And if I need to have another surgery, they can, work that out and do another surgery. Implants don't last forever too. I'm still not quite clear on this one, so don't quote me on this. The first plastic surgeon I went to, who was a friggin' mega psycho bitch, she told me I'd have to have my implants switched out every 10 years. So I'm like, so when I'm like 70, I'm going to have surgery to have my my implants switched out, let alone 80 or 90. Like what? And then when I went to the plastic surgeon I have now, he's like, that's not true. So anyhow, so yeah, he said he thought I would feel better just because he knows me and, very obviously vocal about how I feel about stuff. He said he thinks it would help if I had the tattooing. And I compare that when like before I went to a post-mastectomy boutique bra fitting, whatever, I was just getting my bras off like Amazon or friends of mine who were breast cancer survivors that said, well, this company worked well for me, or this company worked well for me. And I either wore sports bras or I wore those bras, neither of which were super supportive, I guess. And it's also kind of a, not actually 100% true that just because you have implants, your boobs are going to be like up here for the rest of your life. Gravity is gravity. Your skin is, I still have the skin of a 50-year-old woman, like my skin is still going to move. So when I went to get fitted for these bras, they do help lift a little bit just because of like the straps and stuff, because it looks like an actual like real bra. Although I do have those indentations when I go like this. You could see it. See, like boop, boop, because there's no little thingy there. You can buy these little cup things, by the way, to fill that out if it annoys you. Yeah, I mean, throughout the day, usually, like, if I would just work, I'm not going to walk around like this, like, going about my business. But, like, when I have my arms down, like, normal, like, it doesn't do that. Like, it fills out my bra. Another fun thing to know is when I first put my bra on in the morning, I have those things, those little gappy things here. even when with my arms down, but gravity does work that way that it does fill out the cup as I'm going through my day. It's probably within the first like half an hour, and then like it's fine. Anyhow, so yeah, so I'm going tomorrow. The nurse of plastics is the one who's doing it. She does them every day. My plastic surgeon showed me a picture of a woman, similar boob size and body size as what I was before all this stuff happened. So he showed me, and my scars are similar to hers. So he showed me her before, during, I mean, like, surgery's done, no nipples, just boob. And then after she had her tattooing done. And she looked good. Her tattooed ones actually look better than her original ones. One thing I'll just mention briefly again, because I already did a vlog on this. You could just rewind to like very early on in this journey. But losing your nipples, you're also losing an erogenous zone. I don't know if I'm crossing a line, but do I care? No. A weird thought I had when I found out that I couldn't save my nipples is that you never know the last time you'll ever be wearing nipple clamps until you just can't wear them anymore. Because like you go in for this tests and like something's wrong, you go in for a biopsy, you know, they're sticking freaking needles in your boobs. No one's going to want to put nipple clamps on after you're like having needles in you. And then like everything was so fast and the surgery's done and now there's no nipples to clasp. It's just a weird thing. Some of you are like, I've never worn nipple clasp before. Maybe you should try it out. I am grateful that I had a partner that I could explore that with back in the day. I am sad that I will never feel that sensation again. The weird sensation of putting your nipple against something that's cold just to feel that like tingle, you know? I'll never feel that again. I don't want to go too far down that road again because I've done vlogs on it and I don't really want to get all upset. I just came from a meditation class right before I did this and like I'm like in the zone, so I don't want to do that. So I don't know. I'll go tomorrow. I know you're supposed to hydrate a lot because I mean I have this tattoo, so I know what to expect. But the interesting thing is like, you know, they say that having a tattoo here like hurts a lot because there's not a lot of skin. Truly, this was not like really painful at all. The only parts that were uncomfortable was the orange because he used a wider blade to put the coloring on it. But that was it. The other interesting thing that you may or may not know is that after surgery, at least for me, you know, they're cutting nerves. They're cutting lots of nerves. And I don't have feeling. It's coming back, but where my nipples would be, there's no feeling. I could like punch it right now, nothing. As I've been working at the gym, doing certain things like push-ups, which I hate, but I get their purpose, I am regaining feeling still, even though it's been like over 3.5 years. I thought like if I hadn't regained it by now, that would be, you know, that ship would have sailed, but that's not true. I am still like starting to gain feeling back. So what's interesting about tomorrow is that I really won't feel what she's doing, which is good that it won't hurt, but weird that she's like doing this to me and I won't be able to. Who would want to? I won't feel it. And I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. I trust her. She listens to me. I feel very heard when I go there. I feel like our rapport is very simpatico. Like I've been in there sometimes for like well over an hour for like a 15-minute appointment just because I had questions. And she literally will say, like, I will sit here as long as you want me to. Like, just go ahead and whatever questions you have, I'm here. And she literally would just sit there and just wait for me to spew out all the questions I have. Like, I was watching the time and I'm like, I don't really care how long this log goes because this is a big fucking deal. I've been living through 3.5 years without having any nipples. So I joke about them looking like Barbie boobs because Barbie doesn't have nipples. Someone bought me a Wonder Woman Barbie doll, which I also lost during the flooding, which sucked. She was like coated in like this rusty water. It was gross. I couldn't keep it. But you pull down a Barbie doll's top and they don't have nipples. They're just like round, which on a Barbie doll, like, of course, their waists are super skinny. And like, that's, you know, it doesn't look so weird on a doll. To me, it looks weird on a human. I don't know. Some people choose never to have their nipples done at all, by the way. They just like leave them. You don't have to do that. A short, and again, this is another vlog I won't get too deep into, but some people, which I did heavily consider for quite a while, choose to have their nipples reconstructed. So what my plastic surgeon said, like, they basically just take your skin and they squish it and twist it and like make it into a nipple. So like the skin is what like pops out. The thing is, over time, your skin starts to well, a couple things. Your skin starts to flatten out, so you'd have to have it redone again. And then like once you have that nub made, then you could still have the tattooing to make it, because you can't like make an areola out of surgery. That has to come from a tattoo. So they would do the areola color in the actual skin that they've made into a nipple. That seemed like it would be awesome. I wouldn't be able to feel it anymore. Someone I know told me that they had that done and they didn't lose feeling. Although as I'm saying that out loud, I think she had a lumpectomy. I don't think she had a mastectomy. But the larger issue with that is when they twist it, it's not obviously going to go down when it's warm and stick out when it's cold. It's going to stick out all the time. So do you want your headlights on all the time? I don't want my headlights on all the time. And then you'd have to like cover it up or something so that you're not walking around with like, you know, all day long. So looking at the big picture, I decided not to do that. And the people I've come across, and in 3.5 years, it's been quite a few different groups or whatever, there's been no one that I've come across in my 3.5 years of this journey, through like support groups, through paving, through runway, through all these things, who have done that where they've had an artificial nipple, like not artificial, but one like made. I've not known one person who's been happy with it. A lot of times they will get it like taken off because they can't stand it for a variety of reasons. So, I mean, you do you. Again, it's not everyone's journey is different. I'm just expressing that for me, knowing that all these women like hear all the things that went wrong, even from people that are glass half full. Like, no, I was gonna go by, and plastics discouraged it too for the same reason. And I don't want my headlights on all the time. You know, wearing clothes for this whole process is a thing, a very large thing to have to wrap your head around, especially when you gain all the weight. Well, like not everyone does, but I, you know, gain the weight from the meds and stuff. I'm not like, it's not like I'm eating a lot more than I usually do. It's not like I don't know. I went through menopause twice. That could be part of it too with the food. It's, I mean, you think that I'm sitting there with like a Ben and Jerry's every night and that's how I gain all that weight. And like, that's so not the case. If anything, I've never eaten healthier than I do now. But I do want to finish up because I want to get a good night's sleep. And I actually did not take the day off of work tomorrow. I'm going to like work around my appointment because I want like distraction too. And it's only an hour and a half in theory. I don't know. But I trust the nurse very much so. Her name's Jen. How can I not trust her? Haha. I trust her very much so. I trust that she'll listen to me. One thing to know, like she asked me if I have pictures of my old boobs so she knows what color to make the areolas and my nipple, because that way it looks similar to what it looked like before. A very odd thing to ask. In the beginning, like, you do take a lot of pictures of your boobs. I don't know. I took a lot of pictures of my boobs after I was diagnosed, just kind of to, you know, document stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I guess people watching this, it might be too late to do that, but like, that's a weird thing to mention. Like, if you know someone in the process of, like, they found out they were diagnosed, but they haven't had their nipple removed yet, you know, just know, take pictures. You know, either if it's a lumpectomy, whatever it is, take pictures. You know, it's better to have them than to not have them. That way you could, you know, like when she says, what shade were your old nipple? How big were your areolas? I have a ruler. I don't think I've ever taken a ruler to my former areolas and be like, how long are you? I have no fucking clue. And they sell stickers online, by the way. Amazon sells stickers of nipples that you can put on your skin. And they have temporary tattoos too. I didn't want to do a temporary tattoo because I'm like, that with the scar healing, like, no. But I'm like, I don't know, how many inches, centimeters? I assume it would probably go by centimeters because, wow, inches would be very large, like, like 3 inches. Here's a 3-inch areola. That's a big... Anyhow, I'm sure it's in centimeters, not inches. But like, I don't know. I don't know how big my old one was, and I didn't measure it. Like, how am I supposed to know that? I don't know. I trust she's going to do me good tomorrow. She does this literally every day. It's just going to be a lot when I, like, get up and look in the mirror and see myself with these nipples that are like these, like, brainy little babies. Hello, my little nipples. I don't know. So I just wanted to come on to just share before this next large step in this journey of having my post-surgical boobs look like actual boobs with areolas and nipples. They do this like 3D shading things. The nipples look like they're sticking out, but they're actually flat. And the areolas, like, my understanding is that they use some texture-y stuff. Like some people, you know, like the little bumps on your areola and stuff. You'll never, like, look at so many people's areolas. I don't obviously mean a lot of women. I mean mostly men, like when they're, you know, at the beach or whatever, because women don't walk around topless as frequently as men do. But you just start staring at people's nipples because, like, you forget what the parts are. It's just, it's weird. You're like, I don't have one of those anymore. Let me see yours. You know, it's just... Anyway, but there's some people that like the little, like, dots, I don't know what they are on your areolas. There's some people that make them shaped like little hearts or something. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. You know, if anything, I do like flip a bird or something. I wouldn't do that either. I want it as, like, lifelike as she can do it. I don't want it to be all, like, wacko. Having said that, wacko, I did very seriously look into, I don't know what they're called, like torso tattoos, like a tattoo from, like, in between your boobs. I'm glad I waited on that because I feel like this is much more subtle to get than something here where it's, like, right on your breastbone. And I still have that lump on my breastbone, so I don't want to, like, mess with that area. I know I get tattooing, like, not that deep with the needles and stuff, but still, I don't want to, I need to figure out what's going on with this lump thing first. Yeah, so that's tomorrow. So I'll do another vlog after it's done. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or not. We'll have to see how I process everything. You know, it's funny because I have, like, you look at my nails, they look, like, so fancy and stuff. Aren't they? They look fancy? They're French manicured, but they're really not. They're $9 peel and stick nails that you get from CVS. But these look fake. Well, these are fake. These are my fake nails. See how pretty they look? Woo! They're my fake nails to go with my fake boobs and my fake nipples I'll have tomorrow. But, you know, it is what it is. I am here. Life doesn't always look like what you think it's going to look like, in a good and a bad way. My friend Laura, you know, I did my Everyone Needs Their Friend Like Laura vlog. She sent this mug to me. Here, this can be my thumbnail. Oh. She sent this mug to me. Or I'll put a big areola. That could be my thumbnail. That'll probably get like pulled right away. So I won't do that. Anyway, Laura sent me this mug in the mail yesterday. I don't know if it was because of Valentine's Day or whatever. I don't think it was, but anyhow. And I just had it out. Like, I like all the different, here, I'll put there, all the different words that are on it. I like all the different words that are on it. But shortly after I was diagnosed, one of my friends sent me a pink glittery, like breast cancer, what do you call it, ribbon mug thing, whatever. And, when my apartment was flooded and I was going through my stuff in my kitchen, I took the mug and I went out to the dumpster at my apartment complex and I took the mug and I wailed it as hard as I could against the dumpster wall. And guess what? It didn't even break. I just was not in a space to like have a breast cancer mug. But this one's different because it's not like, because of the words that are on there, I find it to be more empowering to look at all the words on here, like power and peace and purpose and faith and brave and all these things that maybe I forget that I am. And I know she knows that I am those things. And I just forget sometimes. So, yeah. All right. This is a long one. It's been a while since I've done a long one. So I'm not ever, by the way, putting my they'd probably pull them anyway, but no way am I putting pictures of my newly tattooed nipples on this. Sorry, not sorry. I won't do that. I did have a really nice picture I took of, I made it into a black and white picture. My hand, I had like black glittery nail polish on and I was holding my boob like that and the scar was sticking out a little bit. I thought it was a very artistically like well taken picture. My nails looked really good. I put it up on Facebook and Instagram, I think, and it got pulled for being pornographic. Isn't that funny? Like, who does porn to mastectomy scars? Gotta be pretty fucked up to do that. Anywho. All right, I'm gonna go. It's say wish me luck tomorrow, but it's not about luck. It's just, it is what is. And one of the hardest things in this whole process is just accepting the what is. And then moving along and see what comes next. And right now, I don't know what comes next. But one step at a time. One step at a time. Alrighty. I'll be a whole new me after tomorrow. See y'all soon. Bye.